Hey guys, welcome to the All Sports Pass Podcast North. I'm your host, X Kriegel X, and today, welcome to the fifth video in the SEC schedule prediction series, where today I'm going to be covering the Alabama Crimson Tide. Before we get into it, keep in mind these are my predictions. These are what I think will happen during the season. And listen, it's college football, and anything can happen. So just keep that in mind. And I'm excited to cover this one. But before we get into this video, leave a like, subscribe for more SEC schedule predictions and more college football content. Without further ado, let's begin. So week one, they're going to be playing, Alabama's going to be playing, let's wind it back. We got to talk about Alabama's previous season. The 2023 season for Alabama, it was a great season for them. And matter of fact, they're the team that ended Georgia's 29-game winning streak in the SEC championship game. And Alabama was able to call themselves SEC champions, but then unfortunately they lost in the Rose Bowl to the eventual national champions, the Michigan Wolverines. But however, I have to say Alabama was a great season for them. Now, their only two losses during that season was to Texas and to Michigan. And I have to say, Alabama really, early in the season, it looked like they were struggling a bit. Of course, like I said, that loss to Texas, when Texas upset Alabama, and they ended up going as low as 13th in the rankings. And that was shocking to me because, I'd gotten to college football a couple years ago, I want to say. And that's the lowest I've seen Alabama, I believe. But however, they were able to rebound and were able to finish with a 12-2 record. And now, there's some different things from this team coming into 2024. And that's the fact about this. They don't have Nick Saban anymore, as Saban announced his retirement. And Saban, he's coached at Alabama since 2007. So this is the first time in 17 years that Alabama has had a new head coach. And also the fact that, Saban won 6 national championships with Alabama. You heard me right, 6. And so Alabama, of course, it's going to be a bit of a new kind of game plan for them. However, let's talk about some notable departures as well besides Nick Saban. As well, for the first one, Caleb Downs, their defensive back, started his freshman year. He had 107 total tackles, and man, it's pretty good. And then heading in, and then Isaiah Bond, who had 5 total touchdowns in his career at Alabama. But however, he had 48 receptions in 2023 for 668 yards, and really Isaiah just started really taking off during the season, and so I really think that Isaiah Bond is going to be a bit of a loss for Alabama, but I do think that Alabama of course can also rebound. However, it was also announced today that Alabama is getting the Lou Groza kicker and award. Let me rewind that real quick. The Lou Groza award winner in Graham Nicholson. They landed him out of the transfer portal. So that's going to be good for the kicking side. But however, let's see how I think Alabama will do this season. And all right. So week one, they're playing WKU, which is Western Kentucky University. And here's what I'm going to say about this game. Simply, I just think that Alabama is going to win this one simply because I just think WKU is a weaker team. So I'm going to give this one to Alabama here. And because of that, I'm just going to say Alabama will have an easy 1-0 start here. And then the next week, they're playing USF. That's another win for Alabama because I think USF is a weaker team. I'm going to go with that one as a win for Alabama pretty handedly. So I'm going to have Alabama go 2-0. and then Wisconsin the next week. It's at Wisconsin, and Wisconsin actually did pretty good last season. They had a bowl win. Yeah, they won the. I'm sorry. They had a bowl loss, but they had a bowl appearance. I'm sorry. Listen, guys, as a podcaster, you will make mistakes. So just wanted to put that out there. Show me some grace because I'm still a human. But however, they had a bowl loss to LSU. But however, they finished the season 7-6 and 5-4 in the Big Ten. And I just think that heading into the season, I just think that Alabama will be will be the better team. And I'm just gonna say Alabama is gonna win against Wisconsin. So I'm gonna have Alabama go 3 and start season 3 now. And then they're off the next week. Then they're gonna play Georgia. Now this one might be a bit controversial for me, really. I really, honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't know. But however, I do think that Georgia, honestly, because Alabama, like I said earlier, they are the last team to beat Georgia, and that loss came in the SEC championship game last year. And what I want to say is this: is that if there's a team that could beat Georgia, it's Alabama. But however, I just think that under this with the loss of star power, and oh, speaking of that, we got to wind it back again. I forgot to mention that Alabama's new coach, Kalen DeBoer, was the former head coach of the Washington Huskies, who finished runner-up on the season. And I have to say, like with DeBoer, I think that he can do some good things for Alabama, but I just don't know if he'll be the same strength as Alabama. But however, of course, he gets a little bit of of 3 break games heading into this season. Of course, with a good 3-0 start, but however, his first test comes against Georgia. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to go Georgia on this one, honestly, because Georgia, I think, can honestly rebound and get back to where they were prior to the Alabama loss. I'm just going to say that I'm just going to give this one to Georgia simply due to the fact that, like I said, Alabama is no longer under Nick Saban. They've lost some star power, but I think with them playing Georgia week 4, I just don't think they're going to be able to rebound in time in order for them to win. So I'm going to give Alabama their first loss here. Then the next week, it's at Vandy, and I have to say this: this is an easy win for Alabama. Simply because look, no hate to Vandy at all, but the thing about it is that Vandy is not really a strong team in the SEC. Like they've not been in the last couple years, really. Unless Vandy can pull the upset, it's college football, anything can happen. But I just don't think Vandy will have the strength to take down Alabama. So I'm gonna give this one to Alabama here. And then the next game, they're playing South Carolina, and I have to say, South Carolina has been able to pull some upsets in the last couple years. Like 2022, they upset Tennessee back when Tennessee was ranked number 5, and then the next week they upset number 8 Clemson. So I have to say, any upsets can happen from this game. However, I think with Alabama with the home field advantage, I'm pretty sure I think Alabama's going to win this one. So so far I got Alabama 5-1, and I also just think that with Alabama, of course, winning this game, it'll give them a 2-1 record in the SEC so far heading into the next game. And of course, DeBoer would have a good record here. But however, the next game they play is the 3rd Saturday in October, the game against Tennessee. And hey, for Vols fans, they remember the 2022 game. Last time Alabama was at Neyland, Tennessee ended the 16-year losing streak. Ended the 16-year losing streak with a field goal to win 52-49, and that also gave Alabama their first loss of the year. And for Tennessee, they were actually ahead a bit in the Alabama game last year before Alabama came back and won. However, I think things are going to be different because they're back at Neyland this year, and this might be a controversial pick, but I'm going to go Tennessee on this one because I think Tennessee has been able to really get into has been able to really dominate whenever they're at Neyland. And I just think that if Tennessee can have that momentum that they've had like while at home, I think they can defeat Alabama for the second time in the last 3 years. So I'm going to give Tennessee here. This is going to be probably my first upset here. It say Alabama, say if like what I mean by upset is the fact that I'm not saying Tennessee's going to lose. I'm just going to say that a lot of people would probably have Alabama winning this one, but I'm going to pull an upset card here for my prediction here. Then the next week they're playing Mizzou, which is Missouri. Sorry, I couldn't resist saying Mizzou. However, I do think that I'm just going to say this that Mizzou has been pretty good this past season. They did pretty good. They were ranked in the top 10 as well. And I just think that, if Mizzou can continue their success, I'm going to say Mizzou may be a tough opponent if they could continue that success. But however, do I think that Mizzou can beat Alabama? I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. I'm going to say this, that I'm going to say Alabama's going to win this one just simply because I just believe that Alabama is going to be the better team here. And what I mean by the better team is that Mizzou has, of course, had some good games from last season. They finished 12-2, and I'm sorry, 11-2. Excuse me. They finished 11-2, and then. But however, do I think they could continue that success? I think so. But however, it's also still a bit. It's gonna determine how far we are into the season once we see Mizzou get up there and see if they can continue that success from last season. But I'm just going to give Alabama this win here. That's what I'm going to do. And then the next week it's a bye week. And then they're going to be playing at LSU. Now, LSU last season did win a bowl game against Wisconsin, like I said. They finished 10-3 and went 6-2 in the SEC. And because of that, they also actually have beaten they actually beat Mizzou a bit last year. They also beat Auburn, and they also lost to Alabama 48-22 last season. But however, I just think that for LSU, I'm going to say this. If LSU can, in fact, pull it off, I want to see what LSU is doing throughout the season, but I don't know. But however, these are my predictions. I think I'm just going to go Alabama here, just simply because I think Alabama can also be the better team here. But however, it's like I said, this is a new Alabama team, so it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how many games they can win up to this point. But do I think Alabama will lose LSU? I don't know, but I think that Alabama can honestly win this one, honestly. Then next week it's an FCS matchup, them against Mercer. I'm going to say this is a win for Alabama since Mercer is in the FCS. Now, I am saying this, though. Now, I'm not hating on FCS teams because there have been some FCS teams that pulled upsets before. It's happened a lot. But however, the most notable was 2007 App State at number 5 Michigan. And App State beat Michigan 34-32 in what I like to call probably the greatest upset in college football history. And because of that, Michigan dropped out of the top 25 because of that. And yeah, but I just think it's highly unlikely that Mercer is going to win. So I'm going to give this one to Alabama. Then the next week they're playing SEC newcomer Oklahoma. And for this game, I'm going to be honest, I don't know. But however, I do think that, of course, for Alabama, if they can, I'm thinking that they're going to be able to pull it off. But do I think that? But do I think that Oklahoma is a team that can be a force to be reckoned with? Yes. But do I think that? But do I think that Alabama can beat them? Also, yes. But I just want to say this. I think that Alabama can pull it out, can pull off the win here. But however, it's like I said, college football, anything can happen. Um, and then but however, with this being the preseason prediction, I'm just going to pick Alabama here. All right, and then the next week, it's the Iron Bowl, and sorry, Auburn fans, the 2023 one, the 4th-and-31 conversion on a game that saved Alabama's win on that one. That one was insane. Jalen Milroe passing it like on a 4th-and-31 to it being caught all the way in the end zone. One of the greatest plays I've seen. And Alabama has done great in the Iron Bowl. Same with Auburn as well. But however, in my opinion, I'm going to go Alabama here. I just think that, of course, if Auburn. Now, Auburn, of course, they can have a good season. And keep in mind, we are going to do an Auburn video. I am going to do an Auburn video whenever it's scheduled, really. So for the Auburn video, I may change my pick, I may not. But however, this pick, I'm going to pick Alabama here. So I just think that for Bama, I just think that they can be the better team and win the Iron Bowl once again. All right, that's all I got for y'all tonight. If y'all like this video, leave a like and subscribe for more SEC content. And keep in mind, these are my predictions. These are what I think is going to happen. So let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. And I'll try my best to respond to each and every one of you. With that being said, just a little reminder to like and subscribe for more SEC content. Peace out.